Hello, welcome on this tutorial on how to make the Backrooms in EEVEE on Blender. Just follow everything the screen mouse does and make sure you download all the stuff in the description to help you. First thing you're going to do is you're going to want to delete these two cubes by selecting Shift and select both of them. You're going to want to right click and scroll down to delete, or you can just press X. Now, once you do that, you're going to want to go ahead and select Add, and add a plane. You're going to want to scale it up a little bit by selecting this little thing, and scale it how you want to. As big as you want, I don't really care. Sort of like that. You're going to select the arrows, and then now you're going to select Shift D to duplicate. But you see, it looks like it went a little bit where it wasn't supposed to. So to undo duplicating, we're just going to select Control Z. Now we can reduplicate it. There. Now that you duplicated it, you can move the ceiling up to however you want. I recommend using the camera to help you, so you can just go and reposition the camera. So for example, you just change its rotation on to 90. And then bring its location on the Z-axis down. Boom. We already got a basic ceiling. You're going to select the ceiling again. You're going to go to Edit Mode. And then you're going to scroll down to this little box, or cube, or whatever it's called. You're going to right click and select Subdivide. And then you're going to want to select the Subdivide, change the number of cuts to max. And you're going to reselect object mode. And now you're going to want to duplicate it. And once you got the duplicate however you want it, you're going to go to the wrench, add a modifier, select wireframe. Now boom, we got a wireframe. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set the thickness to 0.005. Boom, we got a ceiling. Now is when you're going to want to start naming things. For example, you can name this to, floor. You just double click on the item to name it. And I'm just going to name this to see if this is the wireframe or not. So first of all, we're going to move around. I said you could use the middle, well, I didn't say that, but you could use the middle mouse to move around to see where you're looking. So we're going to rename this to Ceiling Loops for the hang ceiling. So now we're going to go ahead and rename the actual ceiling to Ceiling. Boom. Now for the ceiling loops, we're going to want to go scroll down until we find the circle with checkers. We're going to add a new. Blender's not responding. Okay, but there we go. And now we got material 0.00. Okay, now we're going to change the base color to black on the ceiling. But of course, you may not see the color black. That's when you're going to select the checkers again, so you can easily move it around while being rendered. See? Now we got to get to the stuff on the ceiling. Move your camera into a fixed position by selecting the Z, or you can place the ceiling how you want, but I'm going to show you how to do that. So select the ceiling, and you're going to want to select New. And then you're going to change, and you're going to add a new material. Then you want to change this to Emission. Make the strength somewhere between, 20 to 30. This is going to help because it's EEVEE, not cycles. So shadows will be sort of messed up. And now you're going to select Control S to save it as something. I'm just going to save it as IDK because I don't know what to call it. And boom, we already got the ceiling done. Well, we didn't get it done yet, of course. Change the emission color to yellow, because that's what the Backrooms is. Boom, we got a material preview. Right there, as you can see. Or you just select preview, of course. Blender's lagging a little bit. Okay, you see you're going to go to the first material in order to make the ceiling texture. So you're going to want to go ahead and select, select the dot by the color. Change the image texture. And choose whatever image you want. For example, I'm just going to do office.jpg. So that's when I download it. I'll leave a link to it as said in the description. But the texture looks kind of messed up. So we're going to go to shading. And here's where you're going to mess with things. What you're going to do is you're going to use the select thing or whatever, and you're going to use the middle mouse button to zoom in and out and to move around. If you're on a laptop, just use these like things over here. So you're going to select add mapping. Boom. And you're going to want to move vector to vector, as you can see. You're going to add another one. You're going to call that other one texture coordinate. And you want to bring the EEVEE to vector. Give it a moment to load, and you're going to change the scale just on the X and Y. And now you're going to go select layout. Now you're going to go to edit mode. Make sure you're selecting the ceiling. Deselect everything and deselect everything and select this little box. Change it to fixed position by selecting the Z, or you could place the ceiling however you want to use the ceiling lights. And you're going to hold shift to multi-select. As you can see right now. Oops, if you make a mistake, as said, Control-Z will get rid of that mistake by undoing what you did. And now you're going to go over here and select the material you want to assign and select assign. You see we already got a material. Now I'm going to show you how to do the walls. Okay, so we're still in edit mode. We're going to go to object mode. And also, before I show the walls, there's one thing I forgot to mention. You're going to select the carpet. You're going to go ahead and press N. Select Blender Kit. Select Materials, and search for carpet. This will be your Backrooms carpet. The results should still be the same. We're going to select this one. Well, it looks a little too big, so we're going to do the same thing with the shading. But the thing is, it already has what it needs. So we're going to change the scale to be tiny. Not very big, but just sort of tiny-ish. Like, change it to the same number, like negative 0.2. Boom. Well, first of all, it looks a little bit big. So we're just going to change it to 0.1 and both of them to 0.1. The Z doesn't do anything. And that's how you do that. Now we got a properly textured ceiling. Now we're going to unpress N. By the way, what I just showed you was Blender Kit. It should be in the description on where to download it. Okay, now time to do the walls. We're going to add a cube. We're going to bring the cube up. And we're going to scale it until it's the size of 2 roof cubes. So, like, we're just going to bring it up. There we go. It's a little bit sticking out of the bottom and sticking out on top of the top. Hold on. Blender's lagging. make sure you got the cube selected, nothing else. So you want it to be the exact size of 2 cubes on the length. The size of 1 cube on the width, I believe. Boom, we got a cube. The size of 2 exactly. So make it look like, sort of like that. If you're going to go select the camera, you can see it. But it doesn't really look like a wall yet. That's why we're going to do this quick thing and select Shift D. Now we're going to scale the one inside the cube. Scale it down. And then now you're going to select the green and make it just like poke a little bit out. This is a little too hard. Try scaling it through here of the scale. So like you could just go and move around, see. And then the Y, I think? Yeah. Okay, we already got the cube now. Well, the baseboard. But first of all, we're going to scale it down just a little bit. Wait, I accidentally did something, so Control Z. So I just want to scale the blue thing. We still didn't scale it over here. So we're still going to fix that. Get like that. Now we're going to want to move it down. Make sure it's just like just barely above the floor. Okay, so now if we were to go look over here, we can sort of see the ceiling by deselecting things. But if you want to check just in case to see if it's actually just barely touching the floor. Yeah, it just is. Okay, now time to texture the wall. So we're just going to go select this. Actually, we're actually going to leave the material. And we're going to want to change it to an image texture, which I will leave in the description, or you could use your own Backrooms texture. So now we're going to just select open. I'm just going to select this one. Of course, you may not see it. Xbox game bar cannot capture it. But then again, I don't want you peeking at my files. I don't mean to be rude. Okay, you're going to do the same thing you did with the ceiling. We're going to zoom out. And move over here. Now we're going to search for a mapping. Now you're going to want to go ahead and move vector to vector. And now you're going to want to go ahead and also add texture coordinate. And you're going to do EEVEE to vector. Boom, we got the ceiling. It still looks a little bit messed up, so we're just going to change the scale to look sort of how you want the wall to look. But it looks sideways. You can keep it sideways if you want, but change the 0 of the rotation to 90. And it'll be standing straight up. Of course, I still want to change it to like thing. Like that. And there we go. We already got the ceiling. It doesn't look yellow yet, but I'll show you what to do if you want it to look yellow. Now change the baseboard, add a new material for it. And, well, we're not going to add the material yet. We're actually going to hold Shift to select both things. Make sure you don't got everything selected. Just make sure you got the ceiling and the baseboard. And select Control J to join them together. And now we got an object. We can still change the material if you go and look over here. You don't have to though, but I'm just showing you. Wait, we're not going to do the Backrooms thing. The baseboard. We can still change the color of the baseboard without affecting the entire thing. Of course, we're going to select Control Z because we don't need to change it right now. And now you're going to want to select Shift D on your ceiling, and it'll come back once it's done. Well, once you're done, or once I'm done, I don't really know. So you're just going to select Shift D and move to where you want to. If you want to turn it, once you duplicated it, you're just going to select the rotation and set it to 90. And that is how you do the walls. I'll come back when it's done, as said. Okay, now once you got the thing, you're going to kind of make it want to look like computer generated. So that's what I did here. And now that we got it, what we're now going to do is we're going to actually duplicate the walls and send them all to one side. This will be very important for when making like another level. So you want to keep duplicating and then moving them over. Duplicate again. That's like moved over. And remember, Shift D is how you're going to duplicate it. It's fast and simple. Okay, but now you're going to want to fill the other wall very quickly. So what you want to do is you're going to want to hold Shift on whatever side you got. And just keep selecting all the cubes. Make sure nothing else is selected. Also, I recommend renaming these walls. It's going to help a lot. But as said, make sure you got everything selected, including this little space. You're going to want to select Shift D, duplicate, and then bring it over here. Hold on. Boom. We already got an instant wall. But we're not going to do the same for the other side, because that's where we're going to want the other level to make it sort of look realistic. So we're going to select Shift D, and we're going to bring it back. We're going to want to keep doing that. Like I'm doing right here. Another Shift D. And now another Shift D. Now you're going to be asking like, oh wait, but this doesn't show anything how to do wall, or the extra level. Well, it will. Just select everything. Select Shift D. Boom. Instant wall. But you see, what we're going to do here is we're actually going to go ahead, bring these over here, make sure they're connected, and once they are, we're going to move each of these walls to the end. As you see, they're connecting perfectly. So just keep doing that. Because most of the Backrooms is a walled off space, which has lots of rooms and lots of open spaces with walls in the middle of nowhere. And you're just going to want to keep moving the walls in the middle. Do not duplicate them, just move them to the back. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I really recommend you spend your time working on it. So for example, that's what I'm going to do by grabbing this final wall. Now it looks walled off. Now you're going to bring all of these back. Make sure they're all equal, sort of-ish. If you want to actually make them very equal, check the location of each of these. And I'm just going to go and see where... Okay, copy the X location on all of them. So I'm just going to do that, copy the X location. So you just copy and paste it between each of the themes, making the wall look like it's symmetrical. Oh, wait, never mind. I'm just gonna select Control C. Actually, you're gonna want to make sure it's equal on the Y-axis. Sorry about that, wasn't really paying attention. So we're just gonna Control C. Make sure each of them are corresponding to make them symmetrical. As you see, I'm about to do right here. There, now it looks like we hardly even got a distant thing, or whatever I was gonna say. Now, I'm gonna show you how to do the animation. But still doesn't look backroomsy, but I'm gonna show you what to do once you finish the animation. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how to do the animation. You're gonna want to select this little dot over here to begin recording. Hold up the keyframe thing, or the animation tab, and absolutely make sure you are selecting the camera. We only just need one camera. So delete anything that were copied that is another camera. Now you're going to want to select, actually change the end time to a very big number. Now what we're going to do is you're going to go ahead and select space to begin recording. It's going to automatically do any keyframes. You're going to want to be quick about this. Select navigation. When you're in the view thing, select walk navigation. And you can sort of go like you're in the Backrooms and just do what you would do. And then you're just going to click. And once you've clicked, you're just going to go ahead and oh wait, I forgot to pause it. We're going to bring all of the animation. Hold on, let me select Control C. Okay, so you're going to select all of the animation. All of it. And you're going to want to bring it over here. Okay, now that once you got that, you're going to want to go ahead and select Graph Editor. Select Key and select Sample Keyframes. This is going to add some auto animation for you. Now you're going to select Smooth the keys multiple times, or just select Alt-O. It's going to smooth them out. So press it as much times as you want to until it starts slowing down. And now we're going to check what the end of the animation is. It's like 339 frames. Just change it to 339. Boom. And now we can change back to 3D viewport by selecting the same thing. And now we could go to the beginning. And now we see the animation. So it just looks like you're in the Backrooms. It's showing you what you would do. Okay, it looks sort of like a robotic movement, and that's quickly what we're going to do here. Select the camera that you're using for the animation, select the camera, and one of the add-ons that I had you install, which should be in the description, is Camera Shakeify. You want to select Camera Shakeify, and you're going to do a shake. And choose what corresponds to what you did with your animation. I'm just going to do walk to the store. And you see, when you go ahead and watch it, the camera's actually shaking. And there we go. And now, finally, what we're going to go ahead and do, so I'm going to show you what to do with the lighting. Okay, so quick thing before we continue. When I was editing my footage, I noticed that the video on how to forget what it's called. The video on how to add realistic lighting to EEVEE wasn't there together. So that's why I'm just quickly making this. So I'm just going to go select viewport shading. You're going to go ahead and add an irradiance volume. I'll just give it a moment to load. Okay, you're gonna add an irradiance volume. So you're gonna move it to the middle of your backrooms. And you're gonna scale it. Make sure the scale is literally the exact same size of your backrooms, or there's gonna be lots of major lighting problems. So just make sure you can just like spend time scaling it. Hold on, Control Z. It was having me scale the entire thing. Okay. So I'm just gonna like cut to the part. You know, I'm actually not gonna cut to the part. I'm just gonna show you it here. So you want to scale it, make sure all sizes are the exact same size of your backrooms, or the lighting's gonna be all messed up. It could be a little bit above the thing, but it has to be just a little bit. Or there's gonna be shadows in places where there's not supposed to be shadows. Just make your thing the same size. Next, make X, I think. I don't know what it's called. X axis. The Z axis would be the green one. Okay, that's just it. But quick thing, you're gonna want to select your irradiance volume, go to this like weird green thing, and change the resolution to whatever you want. The higher the resolution, the better. And that's where you're gonna get the realistic lighting. But quick thing with the ceiling, here's what I want you to do with the ceiling for the light. As said, I'll leave it in the description. So just make it this hex code over here, and set the strength to 20, and that's just it. Next thing, what you're gonna do is you're just going to go ahead and select Bake and Direct Lighting, wait for it to finish baking, and then when you turn on Viewport Shading, boom, you should have realistic lighting. And that's just it. Okay, so now for your render settings, you're going to go ahead and select this like printer sort of ish thing. Set the frame rate you want once you got your animation done and all of the lighting. The bigger the lighting thing, I don't know if it's called resolution or something, the better it is. You're going to go to output over here, and you're going to change the PNG to an FMPEG, unless it's a big project. I don't really know how to do much else, but just change it to an FFmpeg, and you're going to want to like name it something. I'm just going to name it as like an example. So I'm just going to like put in, I don't know, something. Of course you can't see it because Xbox Game Bar won't allow me to show you what the final system looks like. And then there you go, but don't save it to downloads. And next you're just going to select render once you got everything you want. Because if you go ahead and look over here, it looks like a pretty nice animation. I turned up the brightness so that we could get rid of the light, but it's a little too bright. So I think 33 is like a very good lighting if you're going to do it. The thing, I don't know what I'm even saying. Okay, you're just going to select render by going to the rendering tab and just select render. And that's what you're going to do with the rendering. I'll show you how to do the VHS after my thing's done rendering, or your thing's done rendering. I don't really know. Once you got the VHS app running, well, once you finish your Blender animation, you're going to go open up NTSCQT. This will be your VHS emulator. You go into full screen, give it a moment to load. Do not close out of the code, so that's what just keeps it running. Well, the app, but you can still close out of it, but you have to re-go into the app. Now you see, you can go ahead and select open file, video, or image. See, we're just gonna go to videos, and I'm just gonna choose this recent animation I made, which I'll give you the like settings for the image. Well, not actually the settings, but like the lighting, because the lighting I gave out earlier in the video was actually kind of wrong. So we're just going to turn down everything down. So, boom. Turn down ringing power. turn down color bleed. Turn off video chroma noise, you don't need it. What do you do? Well, depending on how you want your VHS to look. Okay, you're going to want to turn down video chroma loss. But you're going to want to keep some of it, because that's what's going to add, like, the sort of VHS thing. Keep the video noise low, but, like, 100. Keep it in the hundreds. Now you're going to render it. So I'm just going to go to VHS and just call it, like, video. And I'll give you the results after it's done rendering. And boom. You got a VHS thing.